Hi, Reverend Ed Bove here. I'm at the parsonage and I'm standing in front of this beautiful tree. This tree is amazing. It has, right now, it has these red, big husks, and then it grows and it has these beautiful yellow flowers that come out. They almost look like big lotus flowers, and it's just a beautiful tree. It's a very serene tree. But you know, in our work in emergency medical services, in our work within the fire department, we often see some calls that can weigh on us a great deal. And one of the factors that you deal with as an EMS member is that you're working possibly not only at Goodwin's Mills Fire Department, but you're working for other departments. You're per diem at maybe 2 or 3 departments, and you're working varied shifts. You might work a day shift somewhere and a night shift somewhere. You might work a weekend shift. All right, and you're working basically around the clock. Even when you're on duty and you're sleeping, you can't rely on getting a good, 7, 8 hours of sleep, because at any time the call might come in and you're going to have to go. In fact, EMS people describe this as, when I sleep, I kind of just hover over my bed. Some sleep, with your pants on, your boots are right there. You're just ready to go, and your mind is always thinking, I may have to respond to a call. So very often, it's not deep sleep that you're getting, deep sleep that you need to stay healthy and to stay alert and to stay well. So today I want to talk to you about one aspect of a model that I was kind of exposed to in seminary. As I was in seminary at Boston University, I took a class by a professor, Dr. Carrie Doehring, and she is no longer at the Boston University School of Theology. She's now at the Iliff Seminary in Colorado. But her focus, her expertise, her PhD is in pastoral care. But she presented this model that made a lot of sense to me, and it really spoke to me. And I'm going to give you permission today to make yourself kind of your own center of your universe, right? And so she gave us an image, and I'm going to share that image with you now. The image is a wagon wheel, okay? The image is a wagon wheel, and we're giving you permission today to think of yourself as this hub. Think of yourself as the center. The entire wheel is your world. It's your universe. It's your understanding of everything that's going on. But for once, we're going to give ourselves permission, as we try to be as healthy as we can, to make ourselves the center of attention, right? Not our family, not our friends, not our work, all of that. We're going to care about ourselves for the moment as we look at this. Now, you're the center of this model, and this is your world. This represents your network of support, or it kind of looks like a spider web, your web of being. And that's a phrase that the professor kind of coined and quoted, a web of being, right? And how does this relate? How does this imagery relate to pastoral care or mental health care or just simply our well-being? Well, if you're at the center, Professor Doehring would say, each spoke in the wheel, each of these spokes in the wheel represent something that you have in your life that is a support to your world, right? So you're at the center. Do you consider your wife or your husband as a support to you. And this is a person that you can talk to, and a confidant, and someone that you can just be yourself with, right? There's no mask, there's no image, um, there's nothing that you have to hide from this person. All right, there's one spoke might be your spouse. Maybe another spoke would be a family member, perhaps a brother or a sister that you grew up with, that knew you before your career, that knew you not as a firefighter, but as a little kid, right? On Christmas morning and at the Thanksgiving table, and you played together. They just know you. In fact, when you're with this person, with this brother or sister, you don't even have to talk, and you just understand each other. Sometimes you might even finish each other's sentences, right? But you have such a depth of relationship that this person is one of your spokes. Maybe you have a counselor, and there's a counselor, a mental health professional that you go to. There's no stigma in that. You go to for talk therapy, and once a week or once every couple of weeks or uh, once a month, you sit with this person and you talk with them, and it's a sacred time. It's a time that's just about you, and it's a time that's confidential, right? I would like to think that one of these spokes might be me as your chaplain, that you feel that you could come to me in a supportive way, and that I would try to either point you to resources, talk to you about what you're going through, or help you in some way. Perhaps, you know, it was very important to me to create a fitness room for you, to make a space that was basically a closet and a catch-all in a functional fitness room, because cardiac arrest is listed as the number one cause in firefighter deaths. You know, you're carrying 50 to 70 pounds of gear on your back, and you're at a scene in 80-degree weather, all right, and it's hot, and you're exhausted, and you're working hard. You're climbing ladders. You're swinging an axe. You're carrying things, right? You're bending down to take care of a patient, right? You're physically active, and this can cause a lot of stress. We need to be physically fit in the field of EMS, right? So perhaps I'd like to think that one of the spokes is your fitness routine, right? When you're stressed, you get out and walk. All right, and I've been trying to be much more intentional about my physical training, and I do a combination of cardio. I do a combination of that high intensity interval training and weights. But mainly my focus of weights is, rather than kind of a barbell, I use mostly the dumbbells. Sometimes I use two at a time or just one at a time. Some of my favorite exercises is a tricep extension, a farmer's carry, the goblet squat or a sumo squat for your legs, and those are my favorite exercises, and they're new exercises to me. So I've been enjoying that. So what is your web of being? A spouse, a brother or sister, or a family member, maybe an uncle, maybe a grandmother that you can really just talk to, a friend that has your best interest in mind, your counselor, your chaplain, right? Your physical fitness routine. How much, how many spokes do you have supporting your wheel? Now, right now, you might start thinking, I can't think of many spokes. I have three. Well, are three enough to support a wheel under pressure? Is it enough to support the hub if I only had three spokes? I probably need more, right? So to think about that in terms of the more spokes you have, the better your web of being, the better your support structure is, the higher your chances of living a balanced, healthy lifestyle. So I'd love to hear from you about what your spokes are. What do you consider a source of support in your life. I think in EMS, one of the big spoke for everyone is that there is a brotherhood and sisterhood in the fire department. We always don't get along. I know there's sometimes there's dissension, and sometimes there's argument, or whatever. But in general, if you need your brother or sister, they're going to be there for you. They're going to be there on a call for you. Firefighting is a group activity, right? You always show up with a lot of folks, and you're doing your work, right? You have a team in place. Everyone is trying to do their job and to support the situation and to support you. This is a great blessing. Accountants don't have a team that they work with, right? Some other folks, maybe custodians, right? Even teachers, do they have the camaraderie that we have in the EMS services? I don't think as much, right? A lot of the corporate world is competitive. But so lean on that. Lean on the fact that you have brothers and sisters in the fire service that want to help you, that have your best interest in mind, and know what you're going through, right? So today I just wanted to share with you this web of being with an image, right? And I recommend this as a practice. Get a blank piece of paper. Even sit with your spouse, or sit with your friend, or sit with a coworker. Get a piece of paper. Each has a piece of paper. Draw a wagon wheel and write it out. And if you only have one spoke, that's fine. Maybe in a week or two, upon reflection, you add a spoke in. This is a support. Maybe a month down the road, you have 3 or 4 that you've added in. That's okay. That is a process of discovery, right? And it's leading to a greater mental health and balance within your life. You'll hear me talk a lot about balance of our body, our mind, our spirit, right? We need to balance our work with play. We need to balance the seriousness that we experience with laughter and joy. We need to our hard work with adequate rest, right? So how do we do this? How do we seek that balance? If you're good at it, you'll have a long career in the fire service, and you'll have a healthy life. And guess what? Your family is going to very much appreciate you, right, for doing this work. So what is your web of being? Something to think about. And I thank my professor, Carrie Doehring, for bringing this to me, because it's been a useful tool in my life as I seek a healthier lifestyle. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great and safe week.